Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Switch, a podcast about people in the hip hop community that have been able to turn their passion into a career. And I don't know if there's anyone that did that as early and as quickly as our guest today. And not only were they able to turn their passion into a career, but have helped other people, including myself, try to get there. So yeah, without further ado, I don't know how much introduction this guy needs, but the legendary, Cros1.
There we
What up?
go. We should hire people to do a round of applause just for Cros1. Man, as always, we've got Felix, but also we've got myself. I'm your co-host. My name is Prod. I'm the social media guy for Break Connect. And I do need an introduction, unlike Cros1 here today. He's a man of very few words sometimes, but his presence is very well known. Thankfully, we got him on a podcast so that he can say as many words as he
Let's go.
likes.
Let's go.
Yeah. Man, so how are you, man? You're probably real busy right now, huh?
Yeah, and things that you wouldn't believe. No,
I mean, I probably wouldn't believe it because I've never
nah,
managed like
nah.
the biggest event in hip hop history. So,
Yeah, it's funny because it's like I kind of divvied out all the event stuff and like I'm more busy with like family stuff, you know.
mm,
Right, two
So
kids, two kids, man, that's
yeah,
crazy.
got a newborn, 7 weeks old, and then a 2 year old. So and here I am
okay.
pushing 50 like I'm a grandpa. I should be a grandpa, but I've got like my first two kids, you know.
Cross was
Well,
like, you know what, I can wait.
better late than never, as they say, you know?
Uh,
So you definitely got your hands full. You got one kid in one hand, one kid in
yeah.
another. You got an event on your back because you're carrying the scene like that.
That was my first kid. Was the
Yeah, that was your
event.
first kid. Yeah. And that kid is what, 28 years old now?
Yeah, this year will be the 28th anniversary.
28th anniversary. Damn.
Uh,
How do you feel about it?
uh, I feel it feels weird because like I feel as much as like I put into the event and everything surrounding it and everything leading up to it. Um, I feel like it should be a given that people come, you know. But I feel like every year I have to prove myself even more and sell it even more. Um, and there's just some things that I don't say I refuse to do it, but like, Aaron was like, oh, let's put the breakdown of the cash prize. And I was like, look, man, because, Aaron and Lou helped me out with everything. So, they're like telling me to do certain things. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to sell the event with the cash prize. You know what I mean? So like, I was like, rather just be either they really read the fine print and figure it out, or if they don't come and they find out how much it was for or what it was for, then that's their bad, like so. I just feel like freestyle session is one of those events that you should be going to, like, regardless, like it should be on your calendar like immediately. I mean,
Yo,
that's
not a
but
lot
that's
of
coming that's
events.
coming from me, so I don't know. I'm kind of partial.
Well, I'll back you up. Not a lot of events have 28 years of history, and not a lot of events have 8 categories for big cash prizes. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
8 categories? Or is
I
it?
think it's A. It might be a little. Actually, we just added one, so we added like a kids open style.
So it might be even 9. I don't know. I might have miscounted, but there's plenty of categories to go around for anybody.
Well, there's
And on,
five main ones that you could win rings for. So, and then the rest is like rockin',
Mhm.
house and breaking, the open style kids, and the kids breaking, yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
There
And
are
this
9, by the way. I literally
9.
all right,
Okay.
just
all right.
checked on Break Connect. So
It's crazy the amount of things that we're doing. Like sometimes I got to go back and study my own event to figure out what's actually going on, because I just kind of just do it. I'm like, oh, that would sound cool. Let's do that. Like so.
Dude, you've got like the complex con of breaking, bro. I can't imagine managing all of that at once, especially because
Uh,
I mean it's a 2-day event and it's not just like, oh, 5 hours each day. You're like there probably you probably sleep there at the venue, to be honest with you.
nah, we're there pretty early, but um, Nah, like, luckily we have a lot of partners. So like, the open styles and the popping is the Great One-Eighters. The B-girl categories like B-girl City, the kids, is YBC and Little Rock and all those guys. And so every little category is kind of like I have a lot of help.
Mhm.
So me, I just kind of sit back and just curate it, and then like the main event is kind of like my thing.
Mhm.
And then the 40 and up as well. And then just kind of like plugging and playing for some things, like if I think a certain category could use a little punch or a special guest or something, then I'll figure it out and kind of like chime in or pull some strings and make it happen.
So now that we're kind of getting into a little bit of the nitty gritty, I'm going to ask you maybe some questions that you might have never been asked before. I hope you're ready
Hmm.
for this.
Sure.
I'm gonna start off with a good one. As we're all event now, Felix can say that he's part of this conversation. We're all event promoters here. We've all done events now. Felix, welcome to the club. Um, you, Cross, you have the biggest event of all in the breaking space, and you've done it now 28 years. What is one detail, or maybe a couple details, it's up to you,
Mm.
from your events that you wish people appreciated more?
Uh, I don't, I don't, I, I don't really know like a specific one.
Mhm.
Uh, but I feel like people don't have any idea of the amount of things that we have to do to make things happen. Um, and yeah, man, like even like pro breaking tour, like we're in a space where we can help a lot of people out, and it's very like behind the scenes a lot of times. Um, and I just don't really think people really even know the half of it. And it's not like I want to like over there and outline it and like take all this credit. Like it's just one of those things that we just do it, and like I want to make sure that the scene moves forward and it moves forward in the right direction. And I don't really like to like look back or anything like that. I mean, of
Mhm.
course, we have our little throwback Thursdays and stuff, and Freestyle Session is like built on the legacy of the '90s and the 2000s. So it's hard not to like go back. But like for me, when I'm doing things, it's forward facing and just kind of just pushing along. And sometimes that also like gets put on cruise control too. So like
Yeah.
it takes every couple of years for me to be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like so like a couple of weeks ago I had like a little thought, and it's funny that you brought it up earlier, like Complex Con. I was just like, it'd be cool to do something over there, or there's another one called Seoul DXP. It's in Dubai. uh and there's like little things, and I have like little connections in a lot of these things, so like kind of like maybe we could plug some shit in and see if we could make some stuff happen, because that's what we did before, like with like Rock the Bell, Scribble Jam, Sound Set. We've done a lot of different things all across the world,
Mhm.
um to reach out to a different audience, because that's what right now that my mindset is kind of on that. It's like breaking probably needs to get in front of some different eyeballs.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
For someone that has done so many of these events, like your process is probably different than the average event promoter. I feel like you're on almost like a system. Like the beginning of the year is probably prep, organization. Maybe you're doing it the year before. What does your timeline look like to execute one freestyle session?
it's funny because it's like really is a freestyle session, but like we've actually been working on last next year's freestyle session the whole year this year. So like next year is going to be in Japan.
Oh
The
shit,
freestyle
nice.
session world final is going to be in Japan. So, um, in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I will. What are we going to do with the USA? Oh, we'll do freestyle session USA. We'll figure it out when we get there. Like let's get
Mhm.
through this year first. So and then even like we should probably already be looking for sponsors and stuff, but like that's been on the back burner even to like you know really hammer home this year, because this year has been like crazy, like with the YBC
Mhm.
getting put out there, and like my guys were doing that, and then the tour started, and then we're still in it, and like kind of trying to finish off strong, so all the sponsors are happy. um
Yeah.
and then And then, usually after the big bang of freestyle session, that's when we're just like calling people up, like, yo, did you see what happened? Or were you there? Like, or sometimes we'll even bring sponsors, potential sponsors out to check out the whole thing. And,
That's tight.
so yeah, I mean,
So
we'll
your
see how it
process never
goes.
ends then. You're just always doing something to curate the next
No,
one.
no, we're like steps ahead, like, I mean, I wish it was more structured and more strategic, but
Mhm.
is not. Hey, my daughter's over here.
We got a special guest.
Special guest in the house. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I do like Teletubbies.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. We need to clip that one.
No. Here, go, grandma. Go, grandma. Go, grandma.
Soon to be a dad. Look at that.
Go, grandma. You're ready to go. She wants to hang out. Well, she can just be right here, I guess.
Well, that's almost a perfect segue because this is going to be my next question. You're doing so much, and you mentioned it, man. Like you're in that 50s era, 50s range right now. Do you ever foresee an heir to the freestyle session throne? Has that ever crossed your mind?
I mean,
Did we just get a
well,
sneak peek of the heir to the throne?
no, no, that'd be like way too long from now. No, like with the tour, like I'm able to build out some teams. So like, like, the help that I do have, like they're kind of like slowly stepping into more roles. So
Mhm.
we'll see how it goes. Like, I mean, I think as long as I'm in the curation process, I think there's all different ways we could go about doing it. Like, and then I have my partner like Polo, so he's always down for whatever. So kind of on him too, what he wants to do too. So, but I don't know. We'll see, man. Like, I know for me, like pushing 50 now, and the event at 28, it's like I want to say the end is near, or I like foresee anything. Like, I don't know. I don't see myself stopping, but you know, I know for me personally, like I want to retire at some point. It may be like, I mean, I always do the math with like my retirement funds. I'm just like, oh well, maybe in like 15 years or 16. You know, but
Yeah.
it's at the point now where I see like a light at the end of the tunnel. So like I don't know. We'll see, man. If the stock
That's
market does good, maybe I'll be able to do it sooner. But like I mean, but it'd be cool to be able to do events for fun
Yeah.
in retirement phase.
100%.
Yeah.
I do hope that there is a continuation of this event because I didn't get to go to my first freestyle session was in 2014, which was like way after I started breaking.
Yeah.
And I imagine that there's people out there like myself that have yet to go to a freestyle session, right? At
Yeah.
a certain age. And I do believe it's an event you should experience once at least once in your life. Like,
Uh,
on the same level of like an Out for Fame, or no, sorry, not Out for Fame, Outbreak
uh,
or IBE, that and Freestyle Session are like those types of events where if you're a breaker, if you break, or even if you're like a hip hop dancer, you should be able, like 20 years from now,
mm.
that should still be something that you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I see some people like they'll talk about that one time that they went, like 20 years ago. I was like, dude, like we still do them, right?
Dude, I still talk
But,
about them like that. I still talk about my past freestyle session.
Yo,
so,
but it's crazy because like some people treat freestyle session like a family reunion almost, where they see certain people maybe once a year and it's at freestyle session. And
yeah,
it's
it's like
such
the
a
family reunion.
yeah, it's
It's
Yeah.
the
such a
family
cool thing
reunion.
to look
Yeah.
at and in that light. So I can't even imagine a world where we don't have a freestyle session throughout the year. So for you to say like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, like that's putting everybody else on notice. Like y'all
Well,
better start
well,
stepping up,
I'm just saying my light at the end of the tunnel is me not having to be so serious about doing all this stuff,
That
like,
makes sense.
Yeah.
so like, because right now, now I actually have a family, like a wife, kids,
Mhm.
so yeah, I have to take it serious and I have to actually make money. Like before, it wasn't really a priority. Like the way I set things up,
Mhm.
staying with my family, being able to do different things, like I don't really have to do anything. It
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Europe and I'll stay for like 2 weeks. Like now it's like I go out there, I got there on Friday and I came back on Monday. You know what I mean? Like I
Oof.
have to come back because it's like my wife will be driven up the wall by the kids by herself, you know? So like,
Yeah.
so
Well, I mean, we saw
it's
it
like
right now. You know, we had
scenarios.
only been in the episode for like 3 minutes and your daughter came looking for you. I can't imagine 3 days, bro, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
I came back the other day too, so she's like, she's all up on it.
She missed Papa Cross, man. So let me kind of reframe it a little bit because ultimately what I'm trying to get to is the fact that Freestyle Session is like the Super Bowl for breaking. Like
Mm,
everybody looks towards this. There's literal qualifiers where people train months just for a qualifier
mm,
just to get a spot in the top 16. It's that heavy. And for a spectator's perspective, you go to Freestyle Session to see people, but also because you know you're going to see the highest level of breaking, right? Like guaranteed. You don't have to waste time necessarily on day two with some prelims
mm,
where anybody can join. You show up for the top 16 because you know the best of the best are going to be there.
mm.
Um, and you own that now. You are the owner of the Super Bowl of breaking. But in your head, do you think there's ever something greater than this? Do you think there's ever a world where like you could be, you know, like a pro league or something like that? How does that like what does that seem? Because we've asked basically everybody on the podcast, like,
Uh,
what does the future of breaking look like to you? And everybody has a different idea. But for
mm.
you, you are like the top of the top right now. So what's higher than that?
I mean, the things that we've accomplished in the last couple of years, like I want to say, I want to say like 10 years, right?
Hmm.
So are things that I talked about 20 or 30 to like 20 something years ago. You know, I was like, yo, I remember Polsky like interviewed me in like 99 and he was like, what's
Hmm.
the future of breaking look like for you? And I was like, you know, I would like it to be like golf where like, you know, you take 100th place and you're walking well home with $1,000 or whatever, you know what I mean? Like a couple thousand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we kind of did that with Silverback Open, you know? So like, we've done these things, you know what I mean? Like, were we able to sustain them? Probably not, just because, you know, it takes a lot of time, effort, and sponsors, like, which we don't really have too much of. But, you know, like for Freestyle Session, like, we're doing the top two get paid out, you know, like, so the first and the runner ups are getting paid out. Like, I could probably go down a little down further, but then I would just get like so abysmal as far as the prize money, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, I still want it to be a little bit for the finalists, you know. So but yeah, I would want more of that, you know, like hopefully more sponsors come in. I mean, even sponsored crews, you know, which you get a little bit of a taste of, you know, but not really on the worldwide scale, you know.
I mean,
Um,
Asia has that, right? Like they've got Skechers as a team and like Converse, I think,
yeah,
too, right?
kind of like in a small little halfway way, you know, but
Mhm.
like you say, like a league, or if like, you know, how we had with Undisputed, like that was a try at doing something that was continuous, you know.
Mhm.
And there could have been like, you know, imagine if there was 8 crews and each one was sponsored by a big company, you know, like you Red Bull BC1 All Stars, Monster Energy, if you had Nike, if you had, you know, Adidas,
Celsius, I don't
yeah,
know.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, like, and every like all 8 went to every one, and then at the end you figure out who the best one is, or point series or whatever. Because we did that too. We did the point series where, you know, the top 10 got paid out. You know, we kind of did it like real secretive. Like at the
Mhm.
end of the year, it's like surprise. That's what we did, you know. So like,
Oh.
I like doing things by surprise, you know. Um, they would just try it out, see if people really like gravitated towards it. I think for the most part, a lot of breakers is kind of like, you know, of course they're gonna want more cash and more things to shoot for, but like at the same time, sometimes like they're just kind of like, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we won't do this year. So next, we'll see what, you know, if we could get somebody to sponsor something like that, then be cool, you know, and we could promote
Yeah.
it and do it like. But we've tried a lot of different things, you know. So, but yeah, like future breaking, you know, I think it could probably be fully blown out on TV if it really needed to be,
Facts.
or even like, you know, actually continuously online in a way where you got a story that continuously goes throughout the year. You know what I mean? Like we've tried that. Like last 2 years ago, we had like a we had a deal with like this online company. So we were doing stories of crews in every city, and then they lost their freaking deal with the internet company that was going to
Oh
put upload it,
shit.
and it was like it just went all to waste, you know.
So it
But
never saw the light of day?
nah,
What?
Was
nah,
this caffeine?
Yeah, yeah, the caffeine stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of cool stuff on the woodworks, and then just kind of fell at the wayside, you know. But
Damn.
it was a learning process, and like it just kind of shows us like what we're capable of, you know.
Mhm.
And really, at the end of the day, it's just how much money and time and effort you have to put on a project, you know. Because look at you,
Yeah.
like you've done things where you put time and effort into like telling a story, going into the event, and you did it with like zero budget. It was more just like passion, you know, like
Yeah.
so you just kind of have to find a mix, you know, get some money, get some people that are passionate, and really get it down and
Make it
done, you
happen.
know. Yeah. So
You know what's crazy? Like, this is just the thought that came into my head right now. But you think of sports that exist, and you think of like sports that might not be as popular, like golf, right? It is definitely popular amongst a
Actually,
certain
golf
age
is
range.
golf is
super
hella popular.
popular. Golf is
But
so popular.
okay, but if we compared the viewing
Lacrosse.
numbers, no, I don't think that many people are tuning into the Masters over the Super Bowl
They
or
are.
like the Premier
Oh,
League.
bro, like
No,
that's
they
what I'm
are.
saying. Like golf is not a good
Let
lacrosse or like volleyball makes a lot more
Wait,
sense.
I was getting somewhere, but
All
look,
right,
like
go ahead.
for us to get to where we are with golf, one of the stars that really elevated the viewership was Tiger Woods, right?
Mm.
And there's a star in every sport that will elevate viewership. I think that's just like people tune in to see Messi, people tune in to see LeBron. Even for the hot dog eating contest, people tune in to see
I mean,
Joey Chestnut, you
we
know?
got Ray Gun, bro.
People tune like if Ray okay,
That's
crazy.
all.
I'm about to say something crazy, but if Raygun hosted an exhibition battle against anybody and
Nah.
streamed it, people would tune in, not for the right
uh,
reasons, but they would tune
uh,
in, right? But
it's funny.
look, what if what we needed is like a true star? And the only way you can do that is by telling their story, right?
What's crazy is that there are like a lot of ex breakers that are like movie stars and people in prominent positions, you know. That was
Mhm.
kind of like something that I always wanted to do when we had the UDEF, the nonprofit, you know, like wanted to try to connect with people that were ex breakers and try to tell their stories and stuff like that, but it just never really got down to it, never connected
Mhm.
with anybody. But it's kind of hard, you know, like how do you sell it? Like how do you tell it? Like, you know, like, oh well, yeah, breaking was like one of my stepping stones. Because for me, I feel like breaking is like one of those steps to like to your beyond self, you know,
Yeah.
like it like really teaches you a lot about yourself, what you're capable of doing, and you learn a lot about yourself, like trying to like get moves and get a style and get your character. Like you learn a lot about yourself, you know. It's like it's perfect like hip hop, you know, knowledge of self. You like literally learn a lot about yourself with those hours that you're practicing and figuring out
Yes.
how to move your body and get in tune with your body and in tune with the music and all that, you know. So once you learn that, then it's like, okay, well shit, if I could do air flare or if I could do flares or I could do head spins forever, like I mean, if you could do that, you could do pretty much anything. You know, you could learn how to do video work. You can do
Yeah.
camera work. You could, you know, code online. You could figure anything out if you could figure out how to spit on your head and do all kinds of stuff like that, dude. Like, you know,
Yeah. It's
because some
just
of the stuff that's
perseverance.
happening is just impossible. You know, like, but it happens. People learn it. You know.
That's crazy that you kind of got into that because
Mm,
that was one of my next questions. Like,
mm,
you at this point have become an ambassador for breaking in like
mm,
very many different rooms that many people might not even see. You've
mm,
probably had so many things that like have been in the planning stages that have fallen through that people will never know about. Like, and that really just is because like you are that guy. You're that figure for breaking. You
mm,
know everybody in the breaking scene basically. You have all these connections within the world of event promotion and even in the scene. Basically, if you wanted anything done in the scene, I'm sure you could do it through your connections, right? Um, how this is going to be like very much like a hypothetical question. Like, if you were to market breaking to someone, how do you do it? And what has worked when you've been in a position like that? Especially maybe like finding sponsors and all that.
uh, I don't know. I mean, like really, you know, like you know, at the moment, like the last, I don't know, I'll say like eight 8 years, 5 to 8 years, you know, with the onslaught of like stance coming up, you know,
Mhm.
because we you know like how we work with you guys for Break Connect, like we did that with stance early on, you know, like they probably wouldn't even be around if there was no pro breaking tour. Like, like they were going to events, but the reason why they were able to go to events because we were paying them to go to events like for years. And then of course they finally found their niche with like, the open style scene and the dance scene with Red Bull and Dance Your Style and all the other events that hire them now. So
Mhm.
like, kind of lean into that, like, I mean, they have what, like 3 or 4 million viewers.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, dance is very popular. So it doesn't really need to be sold. I think people know that it's a dynamic thing. It's a big movement. It was in the Olympics, you know what I mean? That was like a gift and a curse in a way, like
Yeah.
we got some sponsors and we lost some sponsors. I mean, but I feel like it was a net positive more than anything because we got to people that we never would probably would have ever got to. So hopefully we could push forward and get more in the future. But I don't. I think there isn't anybody in the world that doesn't know that breaking exists right now. It's
Yeah,
just it's
facts.
just to what extent. Like that's why I say like you know being able to tell stories and like do all that. I think that's going to be important moving forward. And whether we could really emphasize and get it going, like because like you have to have a narrative and you have to have a story and you have to have a kind of like a end point, which for me, like I think every year for Freestyle Session and Pro Breaking Tour, the end point is always Freestyle Session. So like, it's just we don't really have curate it as a story, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe we have to, but like, that also takes a big ass budget to like to fly all the winners and which we've done before, but we haven't told that story either. So, I think a lot of breakers too, I feel like breakers are mad secretive. Like if you're not like paying them to go somewhere, they're just not really talking about your event because they're
In a
like,
way, yeah.
like look at how breakers are now on Break Connect. Like they're not even going to Break Connect until like the day of the event and trying to sign up last minute. Like it's like, dude, like everybody should be promoting. If you're like hell bent on going to Freestyle Session, you should be telling everybody about Freestyle Session because the better that Freestyle Session does, I mean, I guarantee you, if I had double the numbers, I guarantee you, like the cash prize would probably be triple. Like I'd put more than the double. Like I
Damn.
put a lot more into it. Like I just put what's comfortable for us that I won't lose my ass doing the
Right.
event. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like breakers need to do that with these events. Like that's why for me, like the open style scene is flourishing because when they go to an event, they're like letting everyone like, yo, I'm gonna be here, I'm dancing there, you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
of course, like Red Bull Dance Your Style, like the more friends you have, the more likely you're gonna win because it's judged by the crowd. So that's the kind of a different dynamic, I guess, that kind of feeds into that. But like,
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's what we need. I mean, we need more people to be in the building. So I think people just to be more proactive and like let people know what's going on, like especially for the dope events. Like there's events that that you're gonna go to that you're like, my family is probably not gonna want to go sit there and go mingle at this event. But there are events where you're like, oh, you guys would have a good time here, dude. I'd even buy like, if there was like like say like when B-Boy Summit was around, I'd be like, yo, you guys gotta go. Like I'm gonna have a booth here, you come check me out. You know what I mean? Like
That's what
it's
Fourth of July is becoming, slowly but
Yeah.
surely. Like Fourth of July is that event that you want to bring your family to because it's outdoors.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Shameless
it's like it's
plug.
like
Outdoors,
it's like it's like it's like a it's like
free,
a it's like
chill.
it's like a day to celebrate that weekend and I mean California sunshine is all
Facts.
good.
Man, no, that brings up a good point. The way that the scene kind of works right now, especially the younger generation, I feel like they're a very secretive bunch. Like they kind of want to do the whole like moving in silence type of thing. But in a way, it harms the ultimate outcome of some events because it's like, well,
I mean, there's a bunch of people that are just like anti-events, like
yeah,
anti-establishment, but
yep.
then like there's just it's just like a tug of war within itself, and it's just kind of ridiculous. Like I mean, for me, it's just kind of ridiculous. But I'm also 50 years old looking at something that's for 20-year-olds, or teenagers. So maybe my way of thinking may not be that way.
I think, I mean, with time, like their opinions will change and they'll see like
Mm.
the opposite end of things. I always tell everybody it's always so easy to criticize or like choose not to go to events and stuff, but you really see it differently once you throw your own events. because
Yeah.
then you start caring about different elements that maybe you didn't care about before. Like you're like, oh damn, I went to this event and I see the lighting is sick. I see that the music is fire, like the speakers sound good. There's like a decal on the floor. Like all of that takes effort. All of that is a detail that the event promoter put some thought into and
Uh,
probably some money into. And people don't appreciate that if they're
I
never
mean,
throwing events.
a lot of those details took like decades to get to, like,
Yeah, facts.
my first events were at a freaking YMCA or Boys and Girls Club on a freaking in the middle of a basketball floor,
Yeah.
and like we just put speakers out there and a microphone and some DJs, and that's all it was. You know what I mean? Like we didn't think about anything else. You know, thought about like at least having a dope flyer because I was a graffiti head. So like it's like, dude, I gotta have my homies do a dope flyer and make sure the right people are in the building. But like, even some of those details get lost these days, like because with graphic design being so easy, some people just have horrible like typeset, just like they're like, well, at least they can read it, like
I don't
and
know if graphic design is.
some are very illegible. I was like, bruh.
It's
I would
it's very
say photo people think they learn Photoshop and then they think they're graphic designers.
Corel Draw and shit, like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
that's some
People are
crazy
like,
shit.
well, I know how to design, man. Let me open up Microsoft Paint real quick. Boom, what do you need?
Dude, yeah, no, there's a lot of details that people take for granted, especially the younger generation, but they'll come around. And like also freestyle session, this is is someone that hadn't competed in a freestyle session up until like 5 years ago. That was like my
Mm.
first time, but it seems so hard to obtain anything at a jam that has everyone, like you really have to prep yourself for that level of competition. And some people, I mean, which is fine. I'm about to say something, but I want to say it's fine if you do this. Some people know they have no shot and they just go in there to throw around and get a clip. That's fine. But there's also some people that are like, yo, like if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And I want to like actually get somewhere. And I think that's kind of like the hard balance, like especially because it's a premier event. You don't want to just go there and throw nothing. You want to go there and throw your
Well, yeah,
best.
yeah. I've kind of seen that with some of the new generation. Like, there's like, damn, all these guys from all around the world are there. I don't even have a shot. So
They get
fuck.
scared out. Yeah.
They're like, fuck even going,
Yep.
Good.
which,
Don't go.
if you do that, if you think that way, then I mean, it's like, yeah, just stay home, dude. Like, we won't miss you.
Well,
Like, but
the way I look at it is like definitely go because I'm also of the mindset of I know my place, right? It's like I know I don't suck, but I'm not going to go to freestyle session and be like, I'm going to enter the 3-on-3 and
well, no, you got people that are like beginners, and they're like, I'm gonna enter 5 categories.
yeah,
It's like, dude,
hurts me.
like, you should just go cipher, go call out something that's like your status, or even somebody a little bit better, and like learn the chops. Like, you don't even have to enter. Like, just go and get in those ciphers and just study people. Like, what's crazy? I remember like in '99, because I met a bunch of people from coast to coast back in like in the '90s, because I was going to all these events just to kind of study. But I went to Pro Am and I met like Flea Rock and his brother War, and then he came to Freestyle Session, like Flea did, and he just came to check it out. Like, he was in the cut, and I was like, I remember that dude from Miami. He was pretty dope, and he's young, and he was just like, he's just in the cut. And then like the next year we did Out for Fame, and then halfway through the tour we went through Boston, and his brother entered with Skill Methods, and then later that year his brother got out, and then they replaced him. I think they replaced him with Flea Rock. So then Flea Rock came out, and he just kind of got busy, But he is like prime example. He like didn't really step in there until he knew that he was gonna like really just kill it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people like that. I mean, not to say that you have to like lay in the cut, wait, but like, like if you study and you really, hone your craft, you get there. You know what I mean? If you want to
Yeah.
make excuses, or you don't want to go because you think that you can't make it to the second day or whatever, like, that's just the wrong mentality to have,
Facts.
like
Facts.
I just feel like you have to be in that space to feel it, and and not everybody's going to be of that stature where you make the top 16. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Mhm.
I entered a bunch of events. I went to Pro-Am. I didn't make the top 16. I didn't make the top 32 or whatever. But I went out there and like my number one goal was to like when I leave there, everybody out there is gonna know who I was. So I
Nice.
did that. I went out there like it's funny because like I was selling like spin hats and I was throwing out freestyle session VHS tapes in my solo and everybody's like, "Oh, you're the one that gave her the videos and the solo." They're like, "Oh, Cros1, and it's like, yeah. And then they knew I had like certain moves, and I would do that at like Rocksteady Anniversary, Pro Am, Scribble Jam, like Scribble Jam. I battle like Phase 2, you know, and back then those were names, but
Yeah.
and that's how I met a lot of people is that I battled them, and then afterwards you're like, "Yo, what's up?" Like that was cool. You had that one move. Oh, that was dope. Let's go
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
But like if you're not in those spaces and you're not putting yourself out there and you're not making those connections, then you're just doing it all wrong, you know? I mean,
Doing it
that's
backwards.
what I feel like, I mean, there's some people that just like, I don't know, there's this one dude in Japan and he's super good, but he only practices at this one train station. He's super good. I think he's like got a big social media presence, but he doesn't even go to events. He
Oh
just goes and
shit.
practices and he's really good. But like that's just his thing, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think breaking it is like you have to go to events and you have to like meet people and
Yeah, of course. It's a
like
social
that's just
dance, man. You gotta
yeah.
be.
Like,
I think just kind of want to bring it back real quick to the stuff that we were talking about earlier. When we talk about a family reunion, the best way to appreciate an event like Freestyle Session or an event in general is to go to them because then you meet
Yeah.
people and then you get excited. Like I love going to events because you're gonna get down. Like I go to events because I'm gonna cipher. Like that's kind of like the top for me. If I oh cool, but that's like slow my list, right?
yeah,
But I get to cipher and then I get to see people that I haven't seen.
yeah,
Last year, I was at Freestyle Session, and my favorite moment is when I saw Den and Intact like in line to
yeah.
get tickets, and I'm like, holy shit! I haven't seen them in a minute. Everything that's
Mm.
going on in their country right now, but it was like it was a real reunion.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, you can't. To your point, the mindset of like, if I don't make it, why am I going? It's like, no, it's for the culture, man.
Yeah,
You get
it's just like
unity.
you just miss the whole point of
Yeah,
going, like it's like for me, that's why I tell people like there's like, well, what's like a sell for freestyle shit? It's like, bro, if you just pick one event to go to in the United States to go to, like go to freestyle session, it's like traveling around the world in one weekend.
Yeah,
Like
facts.
you could walk through the event and you like hear somebody speaking Japanese, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, like all these different languages, all in just walking to go get food or going to the
yeah,
bathroom, like, and it's crazy. Or you see all these people that you've seen clips of, or you see the next guy that's gonna be the dope one. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we've seen like Easton come up through freestyle. So we've seen Shige Kicks, we've seen Grom, we've seen the Maya Boys. Like you see all these people that are coming up, like, and you see them progressively getting better, and then they're the man, like or they're women. Like so that's what's dope. That's what I feel like is dope for me, like throwing it and then seeing the next generation coming up, and then also like when we raise the winner's hand, how much it means to them that they
Yeah.
won, or even for like a loser to like just be like, damn, like I was this close, and just the agony of losing, like it's like you see how much passion it is to be there in that moment to do what they're doing, and it's like it drives you to be able to just to put more into it. You know what I mean? For me, at least.
Facts. No, no, that's
Yeah.
100% true.
Yeah.
There's been like so many different freestyle sessions now that I'm sure like we can go back and just like look at the stories of each of these competitors. Like, oh, like you said, we've seen Eason grow through freestyle session. Grom, the Maya boys, definitely. They're on a heater right now. And you probably on your end of things, opposite of competitors, you probably seen like, oh damn, like this year I was able to get this many people. This year I had this performer. When you think back on all the freestyle sessions you've done, is there one that particularly stands out in a positive way that you can reflect back on and be like, yeah, that's one of my favorites?
Well, always my favorites were like 3, 5, 7, 8, 10. Because I feel like I was leveling up like crazy, like everyone, like
Yeah.
3, I brought out Storm, and like everybody and their mom tried to bring out Storm, and they just never like accomplished it. At least on the West Coast, everyone's like, yeah, we're gonna bring out Storm. It's like, what happened? Like, or it'd be like Storm from Arizona. Like, it's like, bro, like that's not the storm. That's not the real storm,
I got
Storm
Like,
from
storm.
Arizona.
I got storm, man.
but like, so like when we brought out Storm, like, dude, like we had 1,300 people. Like the first two, we had like 700 to 800, and then the third one I brought out Storm, and it was like 1,300 people at L Street Boys and Girls Club right next to like Chula Vista High School, and it was packed. That's how much it meant for like a hip hop community. Like now it's like it's just like straight breakers, but
Mhm.
back then it was like the whole hip hop community was coming out. So like yeah, like and then like 5 was like the 2-year anniversary. First time I did it in LA, and we did like 2,000 people, 1,500 people, and we had to change venues like last minute because we
Mhm.
we didn't our original venue got shut down,
Shit.
and then 7 or 6 and 7, like we started doing shows. We did like Rakim. We brought back Rakim. We did Supernatural. We brought the Executioners, and back then, like those guys were like the pinnacle. Like even like if I had Rakim now, it'd be like crazy.
Mhm.
Um, and then 10 was when all the Korean crews came for the first time, because there was a time when the Korean breakers couldn't come to America,
Oh
because there,
shit.
there was like let's say like an embargo, but like they just couldn't get a visa to come here. There's still a lot of countries that can't come to America. Like a lot of people get shut down with the visas. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, like that was a big thing because back then for the 10-year anniversary, the Korean crews were like bubbling. They were like the top guys. So it's kind of like, man, we have this event. It's worldwide, but it's like we don't have the best guys because these guys can't even come. And then finally they were able to come, and they were just like, it blew their mind being there too. Like it changed everything for them. And
Mhm.
then it just changed everything in the world. So like, and then like after that, uh, you know, it kind of it started fizzling. Like the crews started diminishing, and one-on-one started coming up, and then I had to make a change. So that's when I changed it to 3-on-3, and it re-sparked it a little bit. And then I had to do like I started doing more qualifiers, kind of like ran the whole Battle of the Year and Alpha Fame path way to do things, and that's what we use now with the qualifiers and stuff, which kind of tells the story as we're doing each event.
Yeah.
So like those are kind of moves that I had to move with the scene because of the way it was going. Even this year, like, I changed it to 2-on-2 because we did Alpha Fame, which is a crew battle. So I didn't want it to be too close. Like we were thinking about doing Alpha Fame at Freestyle Session, where we just get the top 8 winners and bring them to Freestyle Session, but that kind of didn't play out. And then we ended up just making Alpha Fame its own separate event. So the final is going to be in Japan, but that's why we made it 2-on-2. and and
Inspire.
it also made the 2-on-2s like got to the point where there was more people from around the world that wanted to do a qualifier. So we've done like 8 qualifiers, 10 qualifiers this year.
Oh
So it's
shit.
like and then next year is gonna be crazy because it's gonna be in Japan, and it's actually gonna be a crew battle. So like a full crew
Damn.
battle. So, and being in Japan, like Japan has the crews, so even if nobody else shows up, it's gonna be fire. So
Yeah. Even if it's only Japan, that shit's
but
gonna be
but I
crazy.
would like crews, like notorious crews from all around the world to go. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there any freestyle session that sticks out to you as one that you wish you could have done differently?
Um, hmm. Not really. I feel like they all taught me lessons.
Hmm.
Even if it didn't pan out the way I wanted to, or like I feel like even if like there was one that we like I think 11 or 12, we were supposed to do a certain venue. Oh no, it was the 10-year anniversary. We were actually supposed to do that at a different venue. And like 2 weeks before, they seen that Slick Rick was on the bill,
Hmm.
and the owner of the venue was like, "I don't want him because he's a felon. Like he just got out of jail, and we don't want somebody like that at our club." And I was like, "What?" It was crazy because
2 weeks out.
it's crazy too because that's why we did it at the Palladium. And the Palladium, I don't know if you know about the Palladium, but that's like a historic LA venue. It's super expensive, but we made it happen because of that move. You know, so I don't know if the 10-year anniversary would have been on hit as much as it would have been if it would have been in the other venue, you know. So because the Palladium, we were actually the last event at the Palladium before they remodeled it. And then the first show after was like Jay-Z.
Oh
Mm.
shit.
Yeah. So like, yeah, the Palladium is like a very historic venue in Hollywood. So
So it sounds like you wouldn't have done anything differently at any event.
I mean, I probably would have wanted to, but like I'm just like I said, like there's none that I sticks out like, oh, I wish I would have did that there, you know, like
Yeah.
you know. I mean, I wish I would have got more sponsors at any of them, all of them, you know,
Facts.
but like, you know, that's
Facts.
didn't happen, you know. So yeah.
Well, so now we've kind of covered like 27 years of freestyle session. What are you looking forward to the most for this one? What makes this one special?
Um,
No pressure.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't done duos in a long time, so I feel like
That's
it's
true.
gonna be pretty dope. And then doing the B girl 2-on-2, I'm pretty hyped about that because I know a couple crews that are coming out. That's it's gonna be fire, dude. Like I almost feel like the B girl battle is gonna be like the one people are gonna be talking about, and the kids battle. So
Yeah, yo, kids are not a joke these days, man. Like
dude,
Dude.
I
yeah,
remember when like the kids battles were happening initially at Freestyle Session, you kind of knew who was gonna win or who was gonna definitely get to the top fast. It was kind of cute. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like these are the kids, like this, they need to fill up the
well,
space. So
when it got international, like I mean, I feel like it went international pretty quick, like a
yeah.
year 2 or 3. But once it did that, it was like you don't know who's gonna win. Like, you know, like you don't know
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. So like, yeah, it's pretty insane.
Like when
So
you see like 15 Japanese kids walk in, you're like, oh, that's gonna be crazy.
yeah, this year like there's gonna be a bunch of Chinese kids coming and they're gonna be killing
Yeah,
it. So
they're
yeah,
blowing up.
yeah.
Well,
There'll be
I
some
think,
viral clips coming out this weekend or the weekend of freestyle session.
dude, easily. I think that's going to be I mean, that's honestly one of the things that propels any sort of like dance event nowadays. It's the content that comes from it. Like Dancer Style World Finals had crazy, like, production value to it. On
uh,
video, that shit looked nuts. I was there live and it was crazy, but on video, it looks crazier. Like the videos that come out really propel the type of attention the event gets, you know? Um, as we think about where we're at now, we kind of talked about what your future kind of looks like for your productions going in and out. Like every year, you're always on the go. You're looking at the end of the tunnel sometimes, and you don't have an air yet. But I think at the very core of it all, what's important to know for everybody that's listening, and the reason why we even have this show is when did you decide to make Freestyle Session your full-time thing? When did you make the switch into Freestyle Session being your full-time gig?
it's funny because it was my full. I feel like it's not really my full time gig anymore.
Mm,
Although breaking in general is my full time gig,
yeah.
but actually I had a regular job up until the 2 year anniversary, like a couple weeks before the 2 year anniversary.
Oh, wow, it's like fast.
Well, it took 2 years. I mean, by year 2, I was on my 5th freestyle session. I had did 3 different ones. I did 2 Seattle ones, and I did
Mm,
a MC battle. I did 2 DJ battles. I did 3 concerts in 2 years. I don't
shit.
know what 15 events. Like,
God
but it's
damn.
it's crazy because the workload now I feel like is a lot, but like I feel like back then it was like, how the hell did I do all that? You know, like
Yeah,
while
dude,
I
I'm
had a
wondering the
I
job,
same
mean,
thing.
you were
while I had a
25 years
job,
younger.
27.
You were like half your age, so
Yeah,
that helps.
I was 22, 23 years old, working at
Damn.
freaking Shogun Kobe, fucking cooking and doing being a waiter. And I was just asking for weekends off to go to breaking events and for battle. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
shit.
Hey,
yeah, it got to a point where I had started my because back then I also was selling videos, so that was doing really well. So I turned the video business into like clothing, video, And then I was doing distribution, so I was trading my videos for other people's videos, or I was just buying a bunch of videos from everybody that was making videos, and I would sell them to like Europe and Asia. So like, yeah, so like a couple weeks before Freestyle Session 5, which is the 2-year anniversary, I was at work and they were just cutting my hours, and I was like, what the fuck am I even here? Like, I already make money doing what I'm doing, and it's fun, you know? So, they were like, oh, you go home early. I was like, you know what, dude, I'm not coming back. So peace.
Damn.
I was like, actually, when I do come back, I'm just gonna eat here and I'm gonna fucking be a dick to you guys. Nah, nah, I was just like, peace, man. I'm out. Like, they're like, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, nah, I never came back. So,
Damn, that's a baller
uh,
move, man. Holy shit. And you really never looked back because now we're here 28 years after that, basically. And
uh,
it's like, holy shit, man. Like, what a move. Imagine had you not been so sure of yourself and you would have just stayed there with cut hours and all that. Like, did you ever think about like what if this doesn't work out?
yeah. That's why I started Armory. I had,
Mm,
in 2003 or four, yeah, 2003, I was doing the distribution, and then I was like, there's got to be, for me, I thought breaking was going to die. I was like, okay, well, we already had this couple-year run already. What am I going to do after this? And I was like, oh, well, I learned how to make, gear. You know, so my friends had this record shop, and I was like, what's up with this shop? And they're like, oh, we're just doing records. And I was like, oh man, you guys should make it a hip hop shop. And then nothing would came of it. And then one of the partners of the shop, this guy DJ Rage, he was like, yo, I'm about to get out of this because it's not making no money. I was like, oh, word? I was like, well, you know, how much is your part? And he was like, oh, like a couple G's. And I was like, I can just bring in my videos and have, turn it into a hip hop shop if they're down. And then they were down. So I was like, all right, fuck it. So I put in like 5 G's worth of merchandise that I had already in my garage, put it in the store, and then overnight it just like turned into the Armory hip hop shop instead of Armory Records. And then that was like, for me, that was going to be like my escape route. Like, okay, I'm going to have a store, I'm going to have a hip hop shop, and that's going to be, when breaking dies out, I'm still going to be doing this hip hop shit, you know?
mhm,
Because also I was doing like club promotion and starting to get a little bit into DJing.
mhm.
Um, and those were all like little escape routes that I was making for myself, you know. But then it was crazy because it just, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years passed. You know, I was like more into like throwing clubs and DJing and doing other things other than the breaking part, which I still was doing like on a big level. But then I started seeing like people like Mex1, who was just doing solely breaking gear and doing breaking events and doing really well. I was like, sometimes I always pick his brain. Like he'd always pick my brain, and I always pick his brain back. And I'm just like, dude, you're just doing breaking shit. Like how, like, because I was never one to like really put all my eggs in one basket, you know. So like even now, I still do like like I've always told you guys, like I do like little side gigs and shit here and there, you know.
Mhm.
Until I'm still
Cros1
DJing,
is the ultimate
I
hustler.
got I got fucking Turo fleet. I got started doing Uber a couple months ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like I try to like keep my time busy. I don't like to sit still and not be doing something. You know what I mean? So because
Facts.
like when you're working for yourself, like there's no guaranteed paycheck. So I have to guarantee
That's real.
myself paychecks. So I have to just keep on hustling. So
That's
Yeah,
real. That's real.
100%.
uh,
Damn.
Wow.
Well, if this isn't the best advertisement for Freestyle Session that you've ever had, then I don't know what is. Because now we've got through the whole entire mind of Cros1. We've talked about his favorite freestyle sessions. We've talked about his journey to get there, how he literally didn't clock in the next day because he was so confident that freestyle session was going to work out. He sold DVDs. He's essentially done it all. If there's one more thing that you could accomplish in the world of breaking before you retired officially, what would that be?
I would like to throw $1 million event.
Yo, that would be
Ooh.
Uh,
crazy.
uh,
Yo, if you could retire with
uh,
that, as that was your banger, like curtain call, dude, you'd be I mean, you're already the GOAT, but you'd be like hands down Hall of Fame first
yeah,
ballot, dude.
that's like the dream. Like $1 million event or like 100% free freestyle session. Like,
Yo,
like
that's
where I'm not even sweating it. Like I'm still making money from the sponsors or whatever. Or like, and actually having it be a banger, like with like a full on like concert lineup and all that. Like
that
that's the dream.
that's that's like kind of epic. Like you
Uh,
saying
uh,
that, I got goosebumps, bro. Like
Dude, I feel like it's gonna
no,
happen.
no, 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 no. I'll be real, because here's the thing. Like saying $1 million event, that's cool. That's really cool. And being like, or a free freestyle session,
uh,
that's enticing as fuck because you already know what freestyle session is.
mm.
You're gonna go for that. But to then be like, and it's free,
Yeah, I would want to like still offer what I offer plus it
right?
being free.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But
That's
yeah,
what makes it like kind of fucking epic.
Yo,
so
Yeah.
man.
that's the dream. We'll see if we can get there. I mean, I would love to just pitch it to like a sponsor and then just be like, cut the check. Like how much do you need? Like,
Yeah, no, dude, I'm manifesting that for you. I hope that
uh,
does work out because I'd love to be there. Like we're gonna
uh,
make that happen.
Facts.
yeah.
And
And we're
We'll
gonna be
see.
using Break
We'll
Connect
see.
for it. Cross, man, thank you so much for your time, man. Thank you so
Uh,
much for divulging all the secrets, the wisdom, and most importantly, the experience, because there's no one in
right.
the game better to explain it than you.
I mean, it's like I said, it's a freestyle session, so we're just like freestyling as we go along, and when it works, we keep doing it.
That's
So
literally the name of the game, Freestyle Session.
literally,
Before we go, is there anything else that you'd like to plug? Obviously, 28th anniversary happening November 15th and 16th, but
uh,
anything else?
yeah, freestyle session coming up, and then also Out for Fame in January. Actually, it's my birthday weekend, January 24th.
oh,
25th is my actual birthday, but yeah, it'll be in Tokyo in Japan. I'm doing it with Spin Control out there with Matt and them, and then and then yeah, then we're going into season, basically the season 13 of Pro Breaking Tour. Hopefully, we can generate some interest with some more sponsors and keep this movement moving. But I feel like even if we don't, I feel like it's still going to be going on. Like
Yeah,
we're still gonna be trucking along. I feel like we've built a solid core of events, and they know what we are capable as far as like moving the needle for them, and then they also know what they bring to the table for us. So I feel like we have a good synergy with everybody. So yeah, let's keep the movement moving. You know what I'm
let's
saying?
keep the movement moving, man. That's success at its
Yeah,
core.
yeah,
Well, thank you so much, Cross1, for joining
yeah.
us. This
Bert,
has
thanks for
been
having
The
me.
Switch, presented by Break Connect.
Switch.
Oh, yo, that's the outro now.
yo, can we just like yes? Can we keep
Yeah, we're
that
gonna,
soundbite?
I'll clip that. I'll clip that. Until next time.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
You're
Thank you so much.
peace.
Peace.
All right, peace, y'all.
All right.
Hi, I'm Felix, founder of Break Connect, and this is Socks. If you like what Break Connect does for the community, consider joining the Patreon. If you're already a Patreon subscriber, thank you. You're supporting events on Break Connect, you're supporting me, and most importantly of all, you're supporting Socks. Thank you.